I'm joined by Paulo Sotero. He is the director of the Brazil Institute at the Woodrow Wilson International Center for Scholars. One of the prosecutors said the proof that we have is very strong and robust. Accusations of money laundering. Talk to me about the shockwaves that this is sending through Brazil, because as you said to me during the commercial break, this was a man who was beloved by many.
Oh, yes. He left the presidency at the end of 2010 with 84% approval rating, unheard of in Brazil or anywhere else. Now, the allegations, Mike, they have some weight to them because they are based on confessions made by associates, former associates of the Workers' Party, of President Lula, of President Dilma Rousseff, of this maze of construction companies that belong to the oligarchies in Brazil that benefited from the Petrobras was assaulted at the rate of $3 billion. So people are outraged, etc. Now, is this action by the prosecutors in São Paulo, not the federal case, but this case is specific in São Paulo, is this warranted? You see that, as Paulo mentioned, even people in the opposition say that, well, this is maybe a little bit of overreaching, and because politically it could inflame a situation at a moment where rallies are being called, and also very important, and maybe the most important event of this weekend, along with the rallies, the convention of the PMDB, the party allied to the Workers' Party, that in view of the situation is seriously considering leaving the government coalition and freeing their members to vote their conscience in the question of impeaching President Dilma Rousseff. So the president could, at the end of this week or the beginning of next week, be even more isolated than she already is, and she cannot count this time on President Lula, who was sort of her political inventor, because the president, the former president, is himself on the defense.
Well, given that, given her standing, how much trouble she's in, you've got an economy that's it's a mess. She's not well liked. The opinion polls of her are not very strong at all. This talk of her actually offering a ministerial position to Lula to give him cover from prosecution, how would that go over with the Brazilian public?
I think it would not go well at all. I think the situation, I just had a conversation in Brazil, I think they have already abandoned that, because that would be an admission of guilty. And they are, I think, trying to maneuver to protect the former president. The question is, there is a federal case against not only President Lula, actually the case on the federal case has not yet indicted President. He's not under an indictment on that case. Both him and President Dilma Rousseff have been identified as being investigated. But there is a major federal case that involves 38 members of Congress, including the Speaker of the House and the President of the Senate, some leading figures in the Parliament, numerous CEOs and senior managers of those construction companies, former operatives of Petrobras, and some other shady figures. So, you know, Brazilians are tired of this sort of system that guarantees impunity to people in high places. Mm-hmm. The economy, as you mentioned, is at a standstill. It contracted almost 4% last year, bound to contract another 4% this year. Unemployment is rising, lots of insatisfaction in a country that was sold a sort of a dream by a very able politician, President Lula, and now faces itself in this very dramatic situation. The question here, the danger here, is really that things could go out of hand in streets, in demonstrations. I hope our negotiating soul will prevail, and that won't happen.
Well, we will definitely keep our eye on it. Paulo Sotero, always a delight having you on the broadcast. Thanks for coming in.
Much.